Hello there, this is Tim. Sorry for the lack of uploads. I would like to apologize for that. There's been a combination of many different things that prevented me from uploading this video sooner. A combination of both personal matters as well as life matters, I guess. Life happens. I'll go into them later. I don't want to dabble on them too much at the beginning, but this is going to be my little over 3.5 year equipment video showcase. Okay, let's get started. So firstly, if you were around towards the end of last year to the beginning of this year, there was a lovely event by the name of Misty Island. And Misty Island, the whole highlight of that event was a flammable totem. So this is the totem. So during that time, I was actually quite busy with work, just trying to manage work and Maple at the same time. So I didn't get all the flame boxes. I believe I didn't get the last one. And very early on, I rolled this flame, which is about an 88, 89 flame score for me, roughly. A lot of my guildmates and friends told me that like I was settling way too early and that I should probably try to get higher if I can and try to grieve for it. But for me, this was good enough, as well as I've seen a lot of friends who said that to me also end up with nothing on their totems as well, so eh, it's their loss. I consider it a win for me. Theoretically, I probably could have went for higher flame score, but I decided to just settle and replace one of my gold Dark Doom totems with it. Alright, second up, gold Doom totem. This hasn't changed at all from the last equipment video. Dark Doom totem, this hasn't changed at all. Really wish Nexon brings these back. It's been almost 4 years now since it last showed up. Okay, now first of the different items from the last time was, I was working on the Connish treasure ring last time. That got scrapped because of the new equipment set here. Dawn Guardian Angel Slime ring. So this ring, I cogged the first slot for 6 attack. I believe I rolled 1 strength and 6 attack, and then I just premiumed the rest for 4 attack each. So the reason why I went Dawn Guardian Angel Slime ring is because I thought to myself that I didn't have a Sweetwater tattoo that was quite good, to be frank. So I thought to myself I could rock this ring along with the Twilight Mark to get the 2-set Dawn boss set for the 10% boss damage and the 10 attack, so on and so forth. I bought this ring. It was quite expensive when they came out, since Guardian Angel rings were quite popular back then. I bought this ring for about 10 bill, I would say, for the main pot alone. And then from there, I got the B pot. B pot I rolled with the Destiny cubes, so on and so forth. A lot of people wouldn't consider this a finished B pot, but in my eyes, it's finished for me. So main pot's done, scrolling's done. Just need to work on the Star Force for now, which I plan to during Shiny. Next up, Reinforced Ring. So in my last equipment video, I had a 27% Reinforced Ring that I was working on. So I actually had a few guildmates for my birthday come up together and buy me this ring. It was 17 star, fully scrolled with the main pot finish. No B pot, so I worked on the B pot on my own. I was very, very fortunate to receive this. Generally speaking, I'm not someone who feels like I deserve like gifts, so on and so forth, but my guildmates were so kind and insisted on giving this to me, so thank you again to my guild. They really do mean a lot to me. They're like a second family. In terms of what needs to be done on this item is 22 star during Shiny Star Force, as well as try to re-roll the B pot as well. Trying to roll at least a Prime Line Strength line in the future. Next up, Superior Golux Ring. So this is the same as before, except I tiered it up from Unique B pot to Legendary and roll 4% all stat. This is fine for now at the moment, simply because in the future, Nexon's going to be removing defense lines from the pool. And that's what I'm sort of waiting for before I sort of roll my B pots for more stat lines. The big whammy here. Ring of Restraint level 4. Where the fuck did I get this from? I certainly didn't buy it, because they are way too expensive in Scania. I think right now they're over like 100 bill right now, so on and so forth. Yeah, but if I go to Adventure Special, I believe. Is that under special? The achievement should be here somewhere. Ah, there we go. So right here, obtain Ring of Restraint level 4. So one of the big ways I actually progressed my character is by doing Oz. I did an absolute crap ton of Oz when I finally got the hang of it, so on and so forth. And what happened was, within less than already 1 million Oz points, I got 2 Ring of Restraints level 4. The first one I sold to my guildmate and good friend Kyle. He used it on his Scania Master, and I asked for Maple points in exchange. And the second one, I told myself if I ever got one again, I would use it for myself, which I did. So yeah, Ring of Restraint level 4. Next up, Holy Pink Beanie Cup, 60 flat strength, 6% all stat. This cup was gifted to me by another guild member and fellow junior master, Kevin, IGN Idol Master. Thank you very much. This cup will definitely serve me well, so on and so forth. Alright, familiars. Familiars changed a lot. So I still have this epic familiar from when the familiar system first came out, but you will probably notice I have some legendary familiars here. So next on, I would say about maybe a year and a half ago, they released these familiar packs, which could give you a guaranteed legendary familiar, and people went absolutely crazy for it. There were so many people opening for them, which I don't blame them because the cost of red carding a unique to legendary is super rare and super unlikely. So I managed to snag all 3 of these legendaries, I would say for around less than 17 bill to get all 3 of these, and I've been just slowly trying to red card them, so on and so forth. I used over 100 red cards, but I haven't been able to see more than 30% boss. And this one is 9% attack with healing, so I use it for now, since it's still a damage boost. So my current familiar setup is 60% boss, 11% attack, with some healing. I do plan to work on familiar cards in the future, maybe once I'm finished 22 starring everything. Alright, next up. Superior Golux Pendant. So this has remained the same with the exception of the B-Pot. The B-Pot I tiered up during DMT, as well as the main pot. The B-Pot here, I rolled 2-line with the free bonus potential queue from monthly daily login in November. I just used it randomly on the pendant since it had no lines on it and hit this. And this is good enough for my standards as a free-to-play. I think this is basically a 5-line item in my opinion. So only thing I really need to work on is getting this to 22 star in Shiny. So in my last video, I was working on a Dawn Pendant in order to transpose this. More legacy content, yay, gotta love it. So this one has a 75 and 6% all stat. Main pot's finished, I rolled this with violets. B-pot's a little tilting because it is 2-line dex, but I'll keep this for now. We'll try to re-roll for 2-line in the future after the update that removes defense lines and try to 22 star this in next month's Shiny Star Force. Now the big whammy. So if you guys have been following my YouTube video, I was liberating with my guild and I managed to liberate. So this is my Genesis weapon right now. So double tier 6 for attack and boss. And crazy thing, this main pot, so I think around 70 Meister Cubes it took me to tier this up from unique to legendary, and in less than 20 I hit this main pot randomly during Destiny. I was freaking out. I wish I recorded my reaction because it was absolutely crazy. Like this sort of main pot, people spend thousands of dollars to try to get, and I just got it handed to me. I know there's a lot of guildmates of mine who are jealous of this. B-Pot, last DMT, I tiered up from Epic to Unique pretty quickly, and I rolled 2-line attack before I hit Legendary, unfortunately, and I decided that I would rock this for quite a long time before I decide to tier this up to Legendary and try to roll for 2-line, just because, like, just from what I've seen other people, friends, guildmates do, I know rolling 2-line B-Pot, especially for, like, WSC, can be painful, so I'll rock this for quite some time. Alright, Superior Golix Belt, tiered the unique B-Pot up to Legendary. It has 5% strength for now. Once again, trying to save up for... I have plenty of spares actually, to 22 star this in the future. So waiting for that. We got my Royal Warrior helm, pretty decent flame, 64 and 4, 27% main pot. B pot needs work in the future, but it does have 2 lines of flat attack, which is usable, which I'll keep for now. Once again, same thing, gonna save up to 22 Stardust in the future. Twilight Mark, the Twilight Mark I bought, I would say for around 8 bill. I bought this clean. ICOG'd it. I got really lucky on the first ICOG. I actually rolled 6 strength and 6 attack on the first slot, and then I premium the rest of the slots. B pot needs a little bit of work, and gonna 22 star this during shiny. Monocle. Monocle's like probably the only like accessory slash armor I don't have free line yet. So 84 and 6%, all 6% all stat for the flame. B pot and main pot needs work. Gonna 22 star this later on. In terms of main pot, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do. I might violet it in the future. We'll have to see. Top, we got 27%. Probably the best flame on all my series. 64 and 7% all stat. B pot needs a lot of work. We'll slowly try to work on this over time with event cubes, so on and so forth, but saving up for 22 starting this on shiny. Alright, probably my second best CRA flame, 64 and 5. Once again, 27s. Like I said in my last video, I am completely fine with 27% CRAs because going for 30s, especially if you're trying to self-make them or trying to buy them off auction house, is crazy. And the B pot's pretty usable with the strength per 10 going to strength per 9 in a later update. With the 2 lines of attack, I can rock this for quite some time. Archaeambra Night Shoes. Re-rolled the main pot here, got 30% strength. Unfortunately, no prime line during violets, but I'll make do with what I can get. And almost 2 line strength B pot. We'll work on that in the future, as well as 22 starring this and shiny. These are not Canandi Force Earrings, these are the same Superior Golux earrings I've had before. I just anviled them because my boss party back then, we got a Commanding Force earring and thought it looked really cool, so we can anvil them. Unfortunate with the B pot, the 7% all stat. I wish that was strength so badly. I actually rolled this quite recently with the cubes from the Savior shop. Hoping in the future uh, hoping in the future to roll like a real two line B pot, but that'll be far in the future since this is technically still like one and a half for B pot lines. And currently right now, just saving up to 22 stars in the future. Okay, Archaeambra Night Shoulder. So before I was rocking a Scarlet Shoulder, but unfortunately I found out that I couldn't use the shoulder if I wanted to get the CRA boss set along with the Liberation Weapon, because the Scarlet Shoulder counted as a lucky item, so I had to get rid of it. So this item, I worked on scrolling this for about a year and a half, and I just gave up on the last slot. So the first slot is 6 attack, no strength. Second slot is 4 attack, no strength. And the last one I just traced because the last one, it was just so frustrating. I would save up for return scrolls and the scrolls would just fail, so on and so forth. In the future, Nexon is making it so that coin shops have 100% ICOGs, thank God. So if I really want to work on it in the future, I can do it then. In terms of this item, just gonna 22 star this in the future, and then try to work on the B-Pod in the future as well. Archaeambra Night Gloves. So these gloves are different from my last one, because my last one had a lot better flame score than this, compared to 90 and 5. So this main pot was actually given to me by a friend named Gordon. He sold it to me for quite a discount because it was during the second round that Equality Cubes came out. So realistically, I thought for me to get 2-line crit damage gloves, I would have to just constantly use like free black cubes, so on and so forth, and just pray I get lucky, so on and so forth. But my good friend Gordon, he managed to roll this main pot for me and sell it to me for a bit of a discount compared to what the market price was, so I'm very grateful to him for doing that. Thank you very much, Gordon. You're a great homie. In terms of working on this item, I really wish that for the B pot, the crit damage line was plus 3%, because if it was plus 3% with the attack line, I would consider that finished for my sake. But I'll be working on the B pot in the future, and 22 starting this during shiny. Battleroid, unfortunately, this item has lost a lot of its value. So in the future, Nexon's gonna make it so that buff freezers are just irrelevant, and Battleroids are pretty much useless in the future. I'm not sure what Nexon's gonna do with these, if they're gonna do anything at all. Maybe we'll get like a flat 20 attack on the B-Roid itself. Who knows? I'm holding on to it just to see what happens later. Alright, next up, my emblem. Probably the only item I had bad luck with. Okay. So the main pot, it has no prime lines on it. It's 30% IED, 2-line attack. B pot is 12% attack. So this item, I probably spent the most amount of violet cubes on this. I spent over 300 violets on this, and I could not see for the life of me 21 attack and 30 IED, which was my minimum settle. I hate this emblem so much, but it's fine. This emblem fail stack for my weapon. And B-Pot, I rolled 2-line magic attack twice before I hit this prime line attack in about 150-ish B-Pot cubes. I hate this emblem so much. A part of me wants to continue to work on it to try to make it better. Another part of me just wants to get a Sharon emblem far in the future and just replace this. But I'm talking far in the future. Alright, here's a legend badge. This hasn't changed. 7-day monster parker. This hasn't changed at all. Next up, and it's probably like my best item since it's also finished as well, this reinforced shield. So this reinforced shield I bought back in October of last year. A good guildmate and friend of mine named Sean, he lent me 30 bill in order to buy this. This cost me about 55 bill, probably the most money I've ever spent on an item, but it's the best in slot shields for Demon Slayers and Demon Avengers, since it also gives 10% final damage. And I knew that the item was finished in my hands as well. With 21 attack, 30 boss, and 21 attack B-Pot, this item is done. I don't need to touch it anymore. Also, another shout out to my guildmate and friend Sean. Thank you very much for lending me 30 bill to help buy this weapon. I'm sorry it took me some time to pay you back. Cape is the same. Cape hasn't changed at all. Once again, waiting for the defense line removal to work on the B-Pot here, as well as trying to 22 star this during Shiny. Heart's the same, that hasn't changed at all. And here are some of my rings. So the person who sold me the gloves, Gordon, he also sold me this weapon jump S ring. He knows that I'm saving up for Shiny Star Force right now, so he put me on a tab, aka a loan. So normally weapon jump S rings sell for a ridiculous price in Scania. I'm not sure about the other servers, but in Scania, a weapon jump S ring level 4 sells for about 25 bill. He gave me a very generous discount and is selling this to me for 18 bill. I'm very grateful for him for that. And I never went over this in my previous video, but here's some of my drop gear. We got the Great Pendant, pretty standard, 20% drop here. Superior Golex, pretty standard, 12 star, 20% drop, 9% strength. Event ring here, 20% drop. And these two next rings are from a good friend of mine named Victor, who I shout out in the last video. He doesn't play Maple anymore, he's playing Lost Ark and is much happier. I think he is at least. Before he quit, he gave me these two rings, free of charge, and they both have double drop on them. And because of this, switching to drop has been absolutely amazing in all my bosses, so on and so forth. So I'm very grateful to Victor for giving these to me. And last ring is another Chaos ring. And my stats right now, 59k stat, without Maple Warrior, 57.6. So I am quite a lot stronger from the last time I made this video. Granted, it's been over a year since I made this one. Apologies again for that. My stats are a little bit inflated, especially in the IED and the boss damage department, because we still have the anniversary passives as well as the savior buffs going on right now. But yeah, that ends my equipment video, and it's been 3.5 years, almost approaching 4 now soon. Hopefully I make the 4-year one on time. Yeah. So this has been 3.5 years on Scania, and it's been great. So now I'm gonna go into why it took me so long to make this video. If you came just for the equipment video, you can leave now. I'll have no hard feelings against it. So 2022 was quite a rough year for me. Without going into too much detail, I had a very close family member of mine. Uh, they lived for quite a long time, but as they've lived, they developed dementia as a result of that, and they've been slowly forgetting me over time. Uh, I remember I was in a video call with them, and despite them asking for my name, they weren't able to recognize that I was right in front of them. It felt terrible, and it felt like someone just struck my heart in terms of just broke into a million pieces. Because of that incident, I fell into quite a depression because of that, and I've been sinking a lot more time into this game as a sort of escape, as many people do. And it's been great for my progression, but not so much for my own personal health as a result of that. But it took me some time to fully come to terms with what was happening. A big part of me just wanted to sleep it off, hoping it was a nightmare, hoping that I would wake up and everything would be fine. But unfortunately, it was reality, and it was something that I had to accept. I'm not a child anymore. I can't just hide my problems under the bed and hope they go away. So, my message to everyone else for 2023 is to appreciate your loved ones, appreciate the people around you that you care about, because those moments you spend together will become memories. And you never know when those memories will be gone. So that's my advice to people in 2023. Make sure you never take those around you for granted, especially the people you care about. But yeah, I've been ranting for too long now. This video has been over 20 minutes now. Anyways, if you watched up to here, thank you so much. I want to give once again a shout out to all my friends who helped me out, my guild mates. They really do feel like a second family to me, and it's been great. I don't see myself stopping playing Maple. I still enjoy this game quite a bit. Even though I am working full time, I still try to make as much time as I can for this game. Anyways, I wish everyone all the best and happy mapling. Bye bye.